Greetings, folks. This is DC Investing. I'm talking about topics that may help people on their path to financial independence. Trying something a little different today. I just want to present some numbers for you on this video so you can really take a look at these and kind of understand them. This is about the ACA insurance, sometimes nicknamed Obamacare. If you are trying to retire early, if you've reached financial independence, this is pretty much the main healthcare system that you'll interface with. And so I want to explain some of the crossover amounts so you can really plan well and potentially use the ACA insurance and get decent health care at some pretty reasonable rates. So the insurance is based upon something called the poverty level. And I'm assuming you're going to be married. You don't have kids, as two of you. And so the poverty level for two people is shown in cell A1, and it's listed as $21,150. That's the poverty level for two people. Then as you kind of come down, the insurance rates are based upon different percentage of that. So it starts with if you're beneath 133% of the poverty level, and it goes up to 400% of the poverty level. In column B, it's here's what the insurance rate is at the beginning of a bracket, and then in column C, this is what the percentage rate is for the end of the bracket. So if you look on row or line 4, 133% of the poverty level, you start to pay 3.14% of your income as insurance premiums. And then as you get to 138% of the poverty line or poverty limit, you pay 3.45%. That's in column C4. So that's how you kind of read those. Each of the poverty level, like if you're looking on line 6, as you hit 150% of the poverty level, you'll pay 4.19% of your income, and it gradually increases until you hit 200% of the poverty level. And at 200%, that's in column C6, which is 6.6% of your income. So that's kind of how you read those. Then in column D and E is sort of the match for how much income you can make to pay those low percentages. So if you're looking at, let's say, column D, row 5, you can see the number $29,187 there. That's the income for 138% of the poverty level. And at that amount, you're going to pay 3.45% of your income to health insurance. Then as you slowly grow from 138% up to 150%, that amount is in yellow in column E5. That's listed as $31,725. And I listed that one in yellow because that's kind of an interesting place that I'm going to talk about in just a minute. So kind of moving across, you're going to look at the costs that you're going to pay per year for the premiums. And these are just estimates. The actual plan providers may be higher than this. Beneath 133% of the poverty level, there's no cost, but it's hard to be not on Medicaid at that amount. So overall, you need to keep your income above the Medicaid cost in order to qualify for ACA insurance. Now, on these income amounts, I want to say income is based on what's called MAGI, or modified adjusted gross income, and it's not the same as what's on your tax return, because there's several types of income that are included in your MAGI. So, for instance, if you own some I bonds or some government T-bills or some muni bonds, those amounts are not included on your federal tax form, but they are included for the ACA insurance. So you've got to learn and all of these different income sources together in order to figure out what you're really going to be paying for your Obamacare ACA insurance. So if you're looking at line F, you have if you're earning 138% of the poverty line, you're going to expect to pay $1,000 a year in healthcare premiums. That's a pretty good deal. And as you go up to 150% of the poverty line, you're at $1,329 into this this overall cost. So decent, pretty good. I've highlighted. So some other things that are really important to understand is in line I and line J, I have included the out-of-pocket costs. That's really important to look at, because if you look at as soon as you cross over from the 150% of poverty limit to 200%, you can see a big jump in your out-of-pocket costs. So for a single person, your single out-of-pocket costs go from $3,350 to $8,100 a year. That's a huge jump for a single person. And your family out-of-pocket jumps from $7,000 to $16,900, which is a huge change. So if you can keep your income beneath $42,000, then you don't have near the out-of-pocket costs that you have if you cross that limit. And notice there's another jump when you cross over from the 200% to 250% of the poverty limit. Your individual single out of pocket goes from $8,100 to over $10,000, and your maximum out of pocket for a family jumps from $16,900 to $21,000. So, again, those are some steep um, increases that happen between those, magical income amounts. So, kind of looking back through, that's why I put that yellow highlighted amount in the middle to say, you, if you're shooting for $31,000, then you get some pretty good subsidies, but do not go above the $42,000 if you can at all you figure out how to do that. And so, you might say, hey, I can't live on less than $42,000 a year. But if you look at your Magi, there's certain things that are included in that and certain things that are not included in that. So, for instance, anything you pull out of a 401k or an IRA to live on, those do count towards your Magi. But anything you pull out of a Roth account, that does not get included in your Magi. So, for this, if you're trying to retire early before you get Medicare, before the age of 65, if you can live off some Roth funds, you can have up to $42,000 of IRA or 401k withdrawals. You have to also include, your qualified dividends or any long-term capital gains. As long as you can keep those below 42,000, pull some extra Roth funds out, or if you just have funds in a bank or in a brokerage account, if you sell something that doesn't have much of a capital gain in it, um, you can use the principal amount to live on, and as long as your income, which includes capital gains or dividend or interest, as long as you can keep your income below $42,000, then you get these maximum health subsidies. So let's say you've saved up, you've got some CDs, or you've got bank account, or you've got a brokerage account that you have a big cash portion in, or you've got some stocks that don't have much appreciation in them. You could sell some of those, um, and as long as your increase stays beneath 42,000, then you can get these maximum healthcare subsidies. So, at a combination between what you pull out of a retirement account like a 401k or an IRA, you have to include that. You got to watch your qualified dividends or ordinary dividends, your interest income, any of the capital gains on anything you sell. All of that counts towards your Magi. And as long as you can keep that total amount beneath $42,000, you get these maximum subsidies. And I think this spreadsheet that I'm using is based on a silver plan. That's pretty typical. But yeah, based silver plan for you, you get these maximum subsidies. And that's a great way to keep your health insurance really low. You got to control your income, but these are kind of how the Obamacare program works. As you continue to go up, like if you hit 200% of the poverty level in column B7, you're at 6.6% of your income that you pay, and as you go up to 250%, that's in column C7. You're going to pay 8.44% of your income, and it continues up. As you hit 300%, you can expect to pay 9.6% of your income, and it kind of stays there up to this 400% range. And right now, if you go above the 400%, that's kind of a tax cliff, and you're going to end up paying whatever the premiums are, which can be like $23,000 a year. So, they may change that with, if the government argues about this and tries to figure out what to do. But right now, it's kind of a tax cliff. If you earn over 400% of the poverty limit, there are no more subsidies, and you're just going to pay whatever it is you're going to pay, and Obamacare gets really expensive at that point. So again, B and C, those are the percentages of your income that you're going to pay based upon column A, which is the percent of the poverty limit, based on two people. That starts at in column A1 of 21,150. Columns D and E is the income level between the low part of the bracket to the high part of the bracket. Then you have the ACA cost in column F and G between the low part of the bracket and the high part of the bracket. I did put in column H that same percentage that was off to the left side because the N percent is the amount that's in that part of the bracket. Really watch your out-of-pocket costs because there's a huge cliff. As soon as you cross over the 42,300 amount, you're going to end up with a big out-of-pocket maximum change. And so watch out for those. So hope this is interesting to you. Hope it helps a bit. This is kind of the ACA insurance cost basis broken down. And overall, if you can keep that Magi beneath $42,300, that's really the sweet spot for getting maximum subsidies for the maximum amount of health care that you're going to get. So, like, subscribe, let me know if this helped you or not. Comment, that always helps the channel. Appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.